And I sought for a man among them that should make up the hedge and stand in the gap before me for the land, that I should not destroy it. But I found none. Ezekiel 22:30. To stand in the gap, the meaning in the dictionary is to expose one's self for the protection of something, to make defense against any assailing danger, to take the place of a fallen defender or a supporter. Although this verse deals with the sins of Jerusalem, I believe that we have permission to apply it directly to our lives. This is a very sad verse because Jerusalem was in a sad and horrible state. And the Lord was saying through the prophet Ezekiel that He was searching for someone who would intercede for Jerusalem and do what was necessary for her salvation. When He looked, He found no one who would intercede for the nation and the city. Even so, today God seeks for intercessors, people who would build a hedge and stand in the gap. We are in a life and death struggle, and every one of us is involved. We are in a life and death struggle, and every one of us is involved in a daily spiritual battle. I believe God calls Christians to stand in the gap and become involved in intercessory prayer. In 1 Samuel 12:23 it says, "Far be it from me that I should sin against the Lord by ceasing to pray for you." Without exception, every Christian is called to become engaged in the ministry of intercessory prayer. Prayer is the mightiest power on earth. We are called by God to stand in the gap. The Holy Bible gives examples of how people stood in the gap for others, one of which is in the book of Exodus 4:24-26. "And it came to pass by the way in the inn that the Lord met him and sought to kill him." 25th verse, "Then Zipporah took a sharp stone and cut off the foreskin of her son and cast it at his feet and said, Surely a bloody husband art thou to me." 26th verse, "So he let him go. Then she said, A bloody husband thou art because of the circumcision." When you read this passage for the first time, the first question that may pop into your mind is, why will God want to kill Moses? Is he not the chosen one? The man who was going to lead the children of Israel to the promised land? Why will the same God who called him, groomed him, and instructed him all of a sudden want to kill him? We know our God is a righteous God. Perhaps Moses sinned against God by not living according to the standards set before the Israelites. In the passage we are told that the minute Zipporah circumcised their son and touched Moses' feet with blood, God let him go. This is the act of interceding. Zipporah stood in the gap for Moses, and the plague of death passed over him. If Zipporah had slept through the battle, perhaps we would have been telling another story today. Thank God for the power of standing in the gap. Does God still look for intercessors? People to stand in the gap? Does God still call people to stand in the gap and cry out to Him? Most assuredly He does. This is the crying need of our day and age. May you pray from the very depths of your heart, "Here I am, Lord, use me." Stand in the Gap mission is committed to intercede for the world and the nations of the world. Every Christian should have a commitment to intercede, who has a commission from the Lord. Mark 15:16. And He said unto them, "Go into all the world and preach the gospel to every creature." If you would like to know more about the Stand in the Gap mission, please contact us. Our email ID is standinthegapmission@gmail.com.